we live? Are we live? Yes, we are live. Hey guys, Thunder E here, and welcome back to On Board. It's been a minute since we've done anything on this channel, so I want to thank Lou again for joining. How you doing, Lou?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been busy. It's been a busy time of the year. I'm just gonna drop my thing here so I don't look super bright as I look right there on YouTube. But yeah, it's been good. We're back into the swing of things. D23 was just around the corner and lots of news. But let's start off with the biggest thing today. They just dropped the special look at Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, special look. And let's review it. Normally we do reactions, but since we're not doing this live, let's review it. What do you think? What did you think about it?
The little montage at the beginning I really didn't need. I didn't have to take a trip down memory lane. I liked a little bit of, they didn't give us a lot of new footage, but the footage they gave us was great. Could that reveal be misdirect? Who knows? I like the one shot with all the Star Destroyers lined up in that big old cloud of lightning. That was nice. So, you know, December can't get here soon enough.
Okay. All right. Fair. I was, the montage was fine with me. I get it. It kind of reminded me of, I watched Grace Randall's trailer reaction. She's like, I don't care for that. I get it. I get why they did that. But I also like the fact that they said this is the end, right? So at least when you watch the montage, you know, okay, all right, fine. I get it. You know, this is the end of it. I was hyped for the trailer until I saw both Rey and Kylo come together, because that just brought back bad memories of terrible fight scenes. And you know me in fight scenes. I just do not like Star Wars fight scenes at all. And
dude, but at least in this one we're gonna get a lightsaber battle, not the battle we got in The Last Jedi.
I mean, yes, we're gonna get a lightsaber battle, but I don't know. You know, okay, like, and then she shows up wielding a double lightsaber. Everybody's all freaking out. She looks like she's going to the dark side, or at least somewhat of a dark side. Let's call it that, because it's probably a misdirect at some level. But again, I didn't like it.
I saw this on Twitter from Comics Explained. I'll give him his props. He goes, remember in Empire Strikes Back, Luke on Dagobah goes into the cave. He thinks he's fighting Darth Vader, but in reality, he's fighting himself when the mask explodes. What if that's that type of scenario with Rey?
I mean, it could be. It's not that. Let me clarify what I didn't like. I didn't like the lightsaber. I mean, she looked cool. She looked like menacing cool. I thought that lightsaber was the most impractical lightsaber I've seen yet.
See, that lightsaber has been seen before if you watched Rebels.
But it's very impractical. It's not. It doesn't make any sense. You can have two lightsabers side to side like that. Like, it doesn't. That's what
it looks weird, but let's watch it in battle. If there is a battle with it.
Exactly. But you know, I'm happy to see the franchise go to a different, you know.
I'll be right back.
You know, different level, you know, that kind of stuff. So it is interesting. But I think the trailer showed us that there's going to be a finality to things with Star Wars. We're going to see things come to a conclusion. We see all the characters. We even see, at least we might get some conclusion on Princess Leia. I almost forgot her name. This is what happens whenever I do live shows. I tend to forget names. But Princess Leia's look. So hopefully that is something that we get some finality with some, you know, old footage from the last movie that they can use within this movie. I'm excited. Don't get me wrong, guys. If you're watching, it's not like I don't like it. It's just that I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was hooked. Part of the trailer got me hooked, and then seeing the fight scene, which the last movie just left me with a terrible taste of fight scenes in Star Wars. Let's be honest, the best fight scenes in Star Wars have been from the prequel in terms of the movies. I'm not sure about the animated stuff, but Darth Maul, versus Obi-Wan, and then Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Again, really good. No matter how much you want to ding the prequels, they did a solid job with fight scenes. So, that's just something to take note, as opposed to what we have here with, the sequels.
And you're referring to Carrie Fisher.
Yes, I did mention it. Yeah, that's it, Princess Leia. This is what happens that's why I need Lou around, because my brain just freezes people's names half the time. But
I can hear you when I had the customer there. Like, oh.
But yeah. So that's where I stand with it, and I think it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I think J.J. Abrams will do a good job to kind of wrap it up. I'm more excited.
That's the thing that's getting me is, it's the end of the saga. Why does it have to be the end? You can keep going. You don't have to have the original three. Remember, Ben is a Skywalker, but at the end of the day, I swear to God, if they redeem Ben, I'm done with Star Wars fucking movies.
Okay, the only way that you redeem Ben is Ben kills her and himself. But this is not an anime, so it's not going to happen that way. Where Ben knows that he has to die, right? But he also has to take out because now she's evil, right? That's the only way it's redemption. And it's fine, but it's not an anime. It won't happen. But it's end of the saga in the sense that the Skywalker storyline is done, and it's going to be somebody else, which is fine with me on that point. But I'm just more excited. So here's my thing, because I'm more excited for Star Wars to end, and I want to get some old Star Wars stories. I want to get some of that. I wanted them to explore some of that side where you can do so much more and show me more, whether it's in Disney Plus or whether it's on movies, right? You can give me more of that because the problem with the Skywalker saga is that I think they felt trapped when they try to expand. They can't, it's all these things where they can't. I feel like Disney feels they can't do too much, right? So do something else. So for me, that's all good.
Well, what do you think of The Mandalorian?
That trailer was 100 times better than this one.
There was a tweet that you got, because you tweeted it out with the whole "this is fire,"
yeah,
and you got a comment that was like, "Hey, is it me or did it kind of like the soundtrack sound like Mission Impossible?" It did a little bit, but they tweaked it.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. It had a nice feel to it. I like that trailer. Mandalorian looked great, looked on point. I am just, just speaking back to J.J. Abrams, I'm excited to see what he has to do when he moves over to Warner Brothers, because he just signed that mega deal with them for $500 million to produce all their HBO content. Not all, but
that's it.
Yeah,
HBO stuff.
HBO Max. HBO is coming to a streaming service, right?
Yeah, I mean, but he's not going to be like a head of a line, maybe give him some stuff to work with in the DC universe.
So the rumor is that, we don't know that, but remember the head of the DC is Hanada, the guy who used to handle all that stuff. So
all the horror stuff.
And he's been successful so far. So to be fair, you just don't want to just boot him out, right? Like that, right?
But it isn't booting him out, because he oversees everything, and then you could kind of use JJ to do what Zack Snyder was supposed to do until they booted him out.
No, you know what? Don't do that. The rule of thumb is this: never put a director in there. Look at Feige, right? Feige is a producer. He does not know how to direct. He will never direct. And producer's job is the reason why Mission Impossible have gotten better is because Tom Cruise is the producer. Like, I think the first 2 or 3 he wasn't. Then he became producer, I think, after 3. And if they've gotten better afterwards, it's because he goes, I want this, change that, do this. That's what producers do. You can write your script whatever you want to, and the producer's like, no. That's why you want to be a producer of your movie, because you're the one who comes in. That's why I remember The Rock and Vin Diesel, that little fight. was all
Oh, please,
production. Fine.
let's not get started there because Tyrese is a moronic idiot.
Let's not go. But let's stick with the whole Marvel DC stuff. Going back to the biggest Marvel news this past weekend, which is Spider-Man, right? And we've had these conversations, and I say Disney's just really greedy. To me, I'm kind of happy Sony got this.
But here, look, I'm gonna break it down simple. All of Sony's runs have profited them about $500 million after marketing and everything else. So splitting the cost with Disney, you still come out with the same profit.
No,
it was broken down.
No, you don't. That person made a bad mistake because let me give you the math right now. How much does Spider-Man cost?
So this one to make?
Yeah.
Let's say $150.
$150, right?
Give or take. I don't know the actual number.
Let's go to Box Office Mojo, right? Spider-Man Far From Home, right? That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this live here for you guys. Actually, I'll just put this Spider-Man. I forgot this hyphen in between Spider-Man. I always spell it as one thing. All right, so Spider-Man Far From Home made $1.1 billion, right? Internationally made 736. Let's not forget, international box office, you don't keep all that money. You only take 40% of that money. In China, it's even less at 20. So even if I were to give you the gracious, you take 40%, 73600 times 40 divided by 100 is 294. That's how much you take internationally. US box office, you take maybe about 60 of that, right?
I think the first week you get damn near all of it, and then everything after that is where
I think
the theaters start to dip into the box office.
So let's say you get 60. So it's 294 international is what you take. Local is 379 000 times what? You take what? How much did I say? 60, right? Times 60 divided by 100. 227 plus 294.
Gotta be kidding me, bro. Even in the rain, they show up.
So it's business, 521. That's 521. That's the amount of profit you made, right?
Yep. I'll be back.
Yes. So take away your production cost and your marketing costs. That's 150 million for production. How much is Far From Home? 160 million for production, and 150 for marketing, right? Let's put marketing at 150 minus 160 minus 150. Sorry. So 521 minus 150 minus 160. $211 million in profit. That is what Sony's going to get. Now you split that in 50-50, that's half. So I don't know what anybody's talking about. That does not make any sense. I don't know if you guys see if this makes sense for you, but to me, it just don't make any sense at that price point. So for Sony to split that with Disney, it makes no sense. And then, with the reports that Disney wanted also another stake in other Spider-Man franchises, whether it be Venom, which made 890, that's totally theirs. And also maybe Morbius, which is coming up next, which probably will do 700 million. Like, why would you want to split that? Why would you want to split that? When Disney makes $1.3 billion in 2017 in terms of revenue from merchandise, that's what Disney made. So why would I be splitting that up with anyone? I'm not stupid. It makes no sense at all. So I don't understand where people think that actually is viable or makes the most amount of sense. So to me, it doesn't work. Now, I'm glad that Sony decided to pull back. Now, does Disney deserve a little bit more on that end? Yeah, you could argue that. You could argue that. To me, 10% is the most I'll give Disney. Some people say 20 or 30 just because you want the MCU. But I'm also happy that Spider-Man isn't in the MCU, at least for now. Because I'm sorry, Spider-Man is not Tony Stark Jr. That's what Disney was turning him into. And fans were all gobbling it up. And it's not a bad storyline, but that's not the Spider-Man that I like. And that's not the core Spider-Man. Spider-Man, is his own person. He goes through his own journey. Because if he became Tony Stark Jr., then the problems of Spider-Man don't exist, the everyday problems. Now he goes back to having everyday problems. And that's going to be cool. That's going to be cool to see how Peter finds his way. Aunt May's no longer dating Happy. He has to pay bills. Peter has to fight off, and you have to continue the storyline from where he left in Mysterio. Kraven the Hunter is chasing him down, right? And to me, if I were them, I would sign Tom Holland for another 5-picture deal. He's going to get paid, and that 5-picture deal, I'm going to include the next movie is going to be Kraven the Hunter. After that, he's going to fight Venom, or actually maybe even to me, I would say the Sinister Six, but Venom actually helping him out. Because Venom is an anti-hero, not a hero. Not a pure villain. So I think that can definitely work out with the Sinister Six and Spider-Man. And then you could have your own big Avengers type Spider-Man movie in the third movie, where you bring back all the former Spider-Man. You bring back Tobey Maguire, you bring back Andrew Garfield, and you call it a day.
It will fail.
No, it won't. See, that's the thing that everybody keeps saying, and they missed the point. They missed the point that Spider-Man as a franchise has never failed. Never. Superman as a franchise has failed. Superman Returns, right? Batman has failed. Spider-Man hasn't failed. It's just that this is the first time Spider-Man made $1 billion. And everybody is now saying, oh, we should do this, we should do that. The thing about it is that if they continue the storyline, it will work.
The problem, they can't continue the storyline because they can't. I don't know how that deal breaks down.
No, they can't.
You can't use Nick Fury and you can't use Happy.
You don't have to. Exactly. Done. Aunt May stopped dating who she was dating. She says she's single now. She's like, I'm just dealing with my stuff. And Nick Fury was never around. Done.
Well, he was a Skrull.
Yeah, I know. But you just don't Nick Fury.
Well, but see, that's another thing. They can't even use Skrulls.
No, they can. It's shared.
Not Sony.
Oh yeah, that's
it was shared with Fox.
Yeah, but they don't have to use Skrulls. Like the whole Nick Fury thing. Remember, Nick Fury is a secret agent. You don't just go talk about Nick Fury all the time. So
we'll see what happens.
He never. To me, it's just you continue it with the. Remember, the sequel was going to have Kraven no matter what. That was what they were planning anyway.
The question is, who signs John Watts? Now there's that bidding war.
Yeah, if I'm John Watts, I would. If it's me, I would stick with Spider-Man. If I go to Marvel, right now Marvel is becoming a factory. I can't hear you. Sorry,
I didn't say anything.
Oh, Marvel is becoming a factory, and right now the kings of Marvel are. You can tell who are the kings there. It's now Waikiki and John Favreau, right? So
did you hear what he wants to do?
What does he want to do?
He wants to do another Iron Man movie.
Yeah, I mean, sure they'll do it down the line somewhere.
Oh, maybe he could do Iron Lad.
I mean, they could do a bunch of things, but I mean, like those. To me, if I'm John Watts, if I do a third Spider-Man movie and it does well, you're king.
But that's the thing. If it does well.
But why?
We know Sony's track record.
No, I know, but remember, it's the same writing team. Everybody forgets the best Spider-Man movie is not the movies. It is Into Spider-Verse, written by Sony guys. The Sony team that wrote the first two Same
Wasn't it Lord and Miller that wrote that movie?
exactly who Disney don't like.
I mean, I still have yet to watch it because I have no interest in watching a freaking cartoon.
Oh no, you'll love it, man, because it is Spider-Man to the core. The reason why did this movie work? The movie did
Which
not
one?
work. Far From Home. Why did it work? Because it was solely on a Spider-Man villain again. It's all about Mysterio. Mysterio nailed that thing well, right? Even if you didn't have Nick Fury, you could still have the same story. You could.
I just feel that when the next Spider-Man movie comes out, it's going to be boycotted to a point.
I think fans will try and do that rubbish but because to me that's why I said I was very pissed, because you look at this deal, Disney's at fault. You can't ask for 50. Remember when
they didn't ask for 50. That was the rumor. The actual total was 70-30, with Sony keeping 70%.
Nobody knows the actual. Let's even just be correct. If Deadline made that mistake once, they made it twice. We don't know, because I've been hearing a lot of backtracking. What happened after that came out? Disney started telling its stars, not as big ones, the B-range stars in the Avengers, to start tweeting out stuff. We want Spider-Man back. Don't take him away. You knew that they literally, this was a setup of the highest degree. This was a setup. And when I look at the math there, Disney makes $1.3 billion as of 2017. I showed you the article. In terms of merchandising, if it's you, I am Disney and you are Sony.
But here's the power play, like I wrote in our chat. Sony gets his movie rights. They're going to now fight over all this live action TV stuff that Marvel will sit there and say, no, we're not going to play ball with you because you have no rights to the TV line. You may own the character, but you can't do nothing with him as far as television.
I mean, but the funny thing is that Sony can sell the distribution rights to Warner Brothers.
On what?
For streaming, for the movies.
Oh, if they want to do that.
Yeah, they can, but Disney wants that because they want it to. Those two movies are so important for their storyline. So it's a game, and it's a ball game that they all will have to play around and fight. But
here's the problem. Look, we're talking about Disney, who has power and clout, and Sony, who is struggling to stay afloat financially in the movie division, where they lost their biggest other movie in James Bond because they're not attached to this next one coming out. I don't know what studio got it, but it's not Sony.
It's Paramount.
So I don't know how many does Paramount gets, but Sony lost that. They don't have no other big franchises. If this studio starts to hemorrhage, they're going to go up on the market. And regardless of who buys them, Spider-Man comes back to Disney because Spider-Man is that part of the clause.
Yeah, I know it's part of the. See, everybody keeps talking about that. Sony's not going to go out of business. I can guarantee you that, and I'll tell you why. No, I can't.
They better hope PlayStation 5 keeps them afloat.
No, PlayStation 5 will keep them afloat. But here's the thing: Jumanji's going to do well. That's their next franchise. They have made everybody.
See, I agree there, but how many more can The Rock really give us?
No, but then you space Jumanji out, right? The next Jumanji, instead of every year, it's 2 or 3 years from now. Then, and again, Jumanji, the new theme of Jumanji means The Rock doesn't have to show up. It means maybe The Rock, and then if you add in another third person that's really solid, like a big celebrity, then you can phase The Rock out. If The Rock can't make it and The Rock is producing and he's fine with that, right? And then you've got that out of the way. You've got Venom 2, which will do well. Venom 1.
I don't know.
See the funny thing?
Venom 1 was all right, but Venom caught fire because it really didn't have competition.
No, but Venom caught fire because it was good. It wasn't
that great.
I didn't say it was great. See the perception. People forget. When you watch Venom, everybody said Venom was going to be trash. It's not a Disney thing. I remember then. I
didn't go there.
Everybody was like, no, it's not going to be trash. There's no Spider-Man. It's not going to work. They recorded Peter Parker in it. Marvel said, no, we don't want that. That's what happened. Everybody has talked about it. What happened? The movie caught fire. You know why the movie did well? It's because this guy played Venom. He actually played Venom. Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy was Venom.
But Tom Hardy was pissed because that movie wasn't supposed to be PG. They cut back certain scenes to make it more friendly.
I mean, they had to, but it was a calculated. Look, it's a calculated thing. It doesn't matter. Like you get it to where you want it to. Venom. But now Venom, you can skirt those lines now. But I'm saying that he did it. It's because of him. Venom works. Now you bring in Andy Serkis, who can make things darker and still keep things pretty PG in the same place, right? And then you now have a movie. Even if Venom does another 800 million, it's a success. Again, that's the thing is that you now have two franchises. But here's the thing: remember, Disney wanted part of Venom. They knew that this was going to be a cash cow, not because of integrating stories or any of that shit. They wanted a percentage of that. That's the Spider-Man percentage is not what pissed them off. Because if it was 70-30, I can guarantee you Sony would have said yes. It's the other ones that they want.
Look, see, where Disney, I think, screwed up was the whole I want control. That, to me, that's the greediness of it all.
It's not the control. The control part, like I'm telling you, if it was just Spider-Man, they would have said, okay, maybe not control, we'll do control 50-50, and you can have, 70-30. But when they came for Venom, remember, Disney did not want anything of that. They were advising, don't make that movie. It's profitable. Then you want to come and take my piece? Come on. That's just where it is. And that's why I said it's a matter of it. But you look at fans, and Disney has played fans like suckers. Because now all fans are like, oh, it's this and this. That. I was like, you know what? No, I'm sorry. I want a Spider-Man movie. I don't want Tony Stark Jr. And that's what they were turning him into. I want Spider-Man. And I like that ending because, one, you could either fix it with Marvel, where it is basically Nick Fury sends a scroll to be like Spider-Man. And then, Peter Parker is there and then, boom, case solved, right?
Well, I mean...
Or you
could just make it another alternate reality.
Yeah, no, or you do it the proper way where he has to actually use his fucking brain because he's Spider-Man. That's it. And he's chased by Kraven the Hunter, and that's what you're going to get. And then you still have, what's his name? J.J. Jameson as the guy from InfoWars. I mean, that's brilliant. But then that's the kind of person who would hire. Guess who would hire to do his investigative reporting? Who's a little scrupulous for that kind of reporting? For InfoWars, Eddie Brock.
Oh,
Eddie Brock is the perfect person for him to hire.
Well, I mean, look, there's one thing I heard that they could easily bridge the two worlds without even saying he's brought in from a different universe. No,
he's in San Fran.
One was in San Fran. He's in New York, and somehow at the end of Venom 2, he makes his way to New York.
And I guarantee you, to make it easier, you use J.J. Jameson says, I need you to find this guy. You're the best. You've been doing this over in San Francisco. I need you to come here and do this. And then, of course, that's where Eddie Brock, maybe like Spider-Man, but no, Venom, the symbiote is like, I don't really like this guy, right? And that's where you get the tug and pull between both of them. And I think that's what you're going to get in the end of Venom 2, which should be just on point. And I think it'll make a lot of sense. So,
yep.
So to me, I want to, I like the Marvel additives, but I like this movie where Far From Home, there's a lot of Tony Stark play. And there was a lot of Spider-Man not building his own suit. Spider-Man is smart. We can see.
Well, he built his own suit with Tony's tech.
I know. I'm saying that now he's going to have to do it himself. And that was always the reason why Spider-Man is popular, right? It was always been popular, right? Compared to Superman or Batman. Like the top three superheroes are those three, right? Superman was number one. Batman is who we all try to be because if we got a little bit of money, we can probably buy some tech. And Spider-Man was all of us because
money. Yeah. We need a lot of money.
a little of a lot of money. You don't need to be a billionaire. You just have to have lots of millions.
You need to be a billionaire to live on Batman's level.
And then Spider-Man was we know we could not get his powers, but his problems were our problems. And that's the thing that is missing because of Tony Stark and Happy, right? Spider-Man had no personal problems other than chasing a girl. Right?
Well, but maybe they were building to that, where that was all going to go with the third one. Because I mean, it's set up. The ending is set up for him to have pretty much the whole city coming after him. How is he going to work his way out of that?
Yeah, no, that's why I said that I want him to do it himself because he could easily contact the Avengers. Doctor Strange could create an illusion that looks like there's so many options to solve it like this, right? That if they did a movie and he still had to suffer to solve it within the Marvel universe, that movie is trash. Because literally, the only thing you would do in that movie is that Doctor Strange or the Skrulls would solve it, but Kraven still doesn't believe it. Kraven's like, no. I can smell it. He's still Spider. Then it's just Kraven and him chasing it. But in this movie where everyone is chasing him, like that's the one that's going to be crazy completely. Unless, of course, out of nowhere comes Tobey Maguire, just swings in, man. It's just like, I'm telling you.
Sorry, I don't want no more Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
No, I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, if they do Into the Spider-Verse as a live-action movie with Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland, not Tom Holland. What's it? Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. Yeah,
as long as like people don't know, like you film it like how you filmed Endgame, right? Just keep that shit quiet. Nobody talks, and then it shows up. People are going to lose their mind because there's so many people who like Tobey. I'm a Tobey Maguire fan. As for Spider-Man,
I didn't mind him as Spider-Man back when it came out.
I prefer. I saw Andrew Garfield. I preferred him over him. It was just like for me. It was like
and Garfield wasn't too bad, but then Garfield became this diva, thinking he was bigger than the studio, and the studio said, "Screw you, Spider-Man's done. We're going in a whole new direction."
And then so if you can bring all those three back in a movie where like Spider-Man's getting like, to me is like you could either bring in the Sinister Six in the fourth movie, where like I have two story options. It's one, that's the movie he also meets Venom, but he doesn't fight Venom because remember, our Venom is not an evil guy. He's just a little bit shady, right? So he's going to have a tussle with Venom, but Venom's going to help him against the Sinister Six. Or you do Into the Spider-Verse with the Sinister Six and the other Spider-Man show. But I think Venom one will make more sense, right? For most people, because you already know Venom. You know he's not a bad guy, but he can be sketchy at times, right? And then he's like, okay, Spider-Man is not that evil, but screw it, I'm going to help him. That kind of thing. That's where you go with Venom with that one. And, you do the Sinister Six. You already have almost everyone, really. I think it's just like two characters are left in Sinister Six. So yeah, I mean that's all you need to do. But it'll be interesting. Meanwhile, on the DC side of things, we've got no news other than what's his name? James Gunn. James Gunn has been hiring people. They cast King Shark, and what's his name?
The voice guy,
and then Nathan Fallon is cast in Suicide Squad.
He's cast in the movie, but he's got a secret role.
Yeah, which is cool though. I mean, the guy's a big comic book buff, so it would be cool to see. But at least we know that Suicide Squad is on its roll. We know that Birds of Prey is doing reshoots, and I think for two things.
Oh God, the dreaded reshoots means the movie has problems. You morons.
So there's one problem in the movie though.
Not enough action. Okay.
No, that one is easy. They brought the John Wick director. I'm like this. It's all good. It's the story. The reason why Black Mask's chasing them is because, I mean, I might as well spoil it out here.
You're going off a comic book.
Yeah. No, this is according to Grace. She said she heard it, and then she heard it again, and then it leaked online, and so she came out and talked about it. She's like, because he's gay, and he doesn't want anybody to know. It's because there's a photo of him. Like she said that the person who told her said it works. If surprisingly, it actually works, but the studio is concerned about I was like, yeah, I'm with the studio on this one. You got to change it to something else.
The man is black. Black Mass is dead, or Black Mass.
He's gay.
Gay.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly. So
I mean, oh God.
It's according to all the people, even the people who leaked it, said that surprisingly it works, but it's just feel like, because of the current climate and everything's going on. Plus, we're past that time where it's just because you're gay, everybody should care about it. Like, so let's take that out. So I think that's the reason why there's another, which is fine with me. As long as, because it's a reveal. It's not like the whole story. It's the reveal, right? So you just need to change the reveal that you film. That's pretty much it, right?
Oh Lord.
So because that's what which I was like, okay. When Grace was talking about, she said, "Oh, see, very easy fix because it's one thing and it's in one place." As in, when you find out, okay, what the hell is this thing that he's been trying to get back, right? And
not
then
like that reveal in Hush.
I haven't watched Hush yet.
Really?
I've been just busy doing some other stuff and
oh my dude.
I've been watching Star Trek because I could do stuff while I'm watching Star Trek. But Hush, I have to sit down and watch because once I heard there was to change for the comics, I was like, I don't know.
I don't know who Hush was in the comic, so this was my first time being introduced to him. The actual movie was pretty good. The whole reveal of Hush, I was like, really?
Hush
that way?
Hush is his best friend as a child.
The doctor guy, right?
Yeah, the doctor.
Okay, so I'm not going to say nothing else because the doctor is in this movie.
But he's not Hush, I guess.
He's definitely not Hush.
Because the way in the comic books, the way it's played out, right, is that this is his best friend. So in a way, he knew he was Batman because he, like if you're that close to that person, it's not too far to put two and two. But something happened. I can't remember the comic book. But Hush was like Hush as a Batman movie, be great. Like you can just make a Hush movie now. The people will talk about, you have a Hush movie, have Superman show up the way he showed up and go out, right? Have everyone show up that you want to show up, but it's still a Batman movie because you don't have to explain anything.
No, it was great. I mean, Superman was in the movie briefly. Not too long, Poison Ivy, her little plot thread, Catwoman and Batman are romantically involved.
All those parts were solid, but everybody was like, I can see what a lot of people, because I know I saw El Mayembe was like, this is not like.
He didn't like that reveal because, he's a big Batman. And I got another customer.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we should round up now. Thanks very much. Stay tuned to be more stuff on the channel. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, man.